Green flags are great, but communicating well, having consistency, or even being a very good gentleman doesn't mean that your relationship will last. So, what does make a relationship last? Today, I'll be discussing that in this video. Hi guys, it's Angel, your favorite Chindo, and you're back with me again in this channel, and let's just get straight into it. But today's topic is about forgetting green flags and actually knowing what really matters in a relationship. So let's get into it. Okay, so have you ever had this experience where the guy's all great? He's very kind, he's a gentleman, he always opens the door for you, he takes the chair out for you to sit down, he pays for the bills, everything is basically going absolutely great, and he doesn't make any rude comments at all. But you kind of feel like something is a little bit off here. Even though he's like very nice and all, you just don't feel that you click, and you don't know why. So we're going to be uncovering those topics today. Because you know what? Relationships aren't just about traits. It's about how you match with each other. It's basically what you feel, your compatibility with them, your effort that they give you, and also your shared vision or your shared values with each other. So that's the reason why maybe he's not the one for you, even if he's amazing. The first thing I want to discuss is the myth of the perfect partner. Let's be real, okay? There is nobody perfect, but there is somebody who can live up to your standards, obviously, yes, but even the perfect person for you, like the person who can reach your standard and treat you really good, doesn't mean that they don't have any imperfections. They do have imperfections because we are human, and that's what's beautiful about us. We have flaws. Everyone has flaws. Honestly, I think it's actually a little bit weird or a turn off if they're too perfect and they do not have flaws at all. Like, that would be so weird. It would kind of be as in like they're kind of like a robot, right? So that wouldn't be ideal either. But you also know that everybody have their own imperfections, and in a relationship, you need each other to actually grow, and therefore flaws are definitely okay. But I'm not saying to settle for less, because we also have a standard. But I just want to put it out there that the myth of having a perfect partner where there's not gonna be any arguments, there's not gonna be any fights, is definitely a myth. Because in a relationship, what actually makes you stronger is when you make mistakes and you learn from it. Just like how learning life experience actually is. The very first thing that I want to talk to you that really matters is communication. When that guy can communicate to you perfectly well and clear, that's like the silver lining. Because a lot of guys, they either bottle up their emotions, like because they're guys, they don't usually talk. When they hang out guy to guy, they won't talk about, oh, like I really love her, da 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 da. They would be like, oh my god, yeah, she's pretty and all that, right? And as girls, we talk about our feelings. Oh, I feel so sad, I feel so annoyed because John did this, he did this guy did this. But guys, they don't talk about their feelings, okay? So when he actually communicates to you, when you did something wrong, maybe let's say, or he didn't like something about you, and he completely just is very transparent with you, and he basically just communicates that to you, like, hey, I would appreciate it if next time you would close the door when I'm working. You know, that's it. Instead of like being mad by himself and keeping up all that emotion, and just being very clear on his communications, what he wants, what he needs, what he doesn't like, is amazing. Because then you wouldn't need to stress about like, what am I doing wrong? Why is he suddenly so distant from me? You know? So communication is one thing. Especially, there are a lot of couples that they have problems, but they won't communicate. That's not gonna work. How is that supposed to work? Okay, so communication is very important. Okay, so another thing, the second thing is actually emotional safety. When you feel safe enough that when you have a problem to actually let that person know, that's really important. Because I have gone through some relationships in my life, okay? And there are guys who are like, I feel safe with, as in like, not like physically safe, I feel protected by them safe, but emotionally safe, where like, if I told them what I did not like, or something that they did that I didn't like, that I feel safe, I feel comfortable telling them my feelings, because I know they would respect me, they would listen to me, and they would have the ability to care enough to try to change that specific thing. And that's where emotional safety comes in. But then there are also other guys who I feel like, I can't really communicate what my feeling is because I don't feel safe with them. If I tell them like what I don't like, I feel like they're gonna either like, I don't know, like at that time, maybe like they could break up with me, they don't wanna listen, they're just gonna be defensive about it. And there are times where I was in relationships where I felt that way, or I felt like, oh, they're gonna leave me. And I know this also is different because that's not from the guy, that's also from your own insecurities, but I'm talking about where they just don't really want to listen to you, or they shut you out. Okay, so second is emotional safety, basically emotional safety. Okay, so the third thing is consistency. This is very simple. It's like when you say you're gonna do this, you're actually gonna do it, especially when you're in that period of dating stage when you're only dating for like 1 to 3 months. It's like the honeymoon phase, okay? Like every single guy in this phase will do anything to get you at this time because they didn't have you yet. And the fact as well where it's still new, you're not sick of each other yet, and you're trying to get to know each other, so it's all fun and that you're going out on dates. But what happens after you guys are official? What happens after a year later, after 2 years later? What happens then? Will he be consistent with his efforts, or will he lower it down? Will he still do the things that you love to do? Or now he's just a completely different person because he got you already? This is consistency. Especially when he says something and doesn't do it. That is not, okay? And I think that is one of the biggest mistakes in a relationship, or the biggest problems in a relationship, where the guy usually just puts less effort when they get the girl. So I feel like this is the number one thing where relationships die, because the dynamics are different after they have dated each other for a while. Okay, so how to actually recognize that your partner is actually being consistent, or are they just love bombing you? The very first thing is what I said just now, which just means in the very few first months is a honeymoon phase. If he gets out of the honeymoon phase, is he still consistent or not? Second one is they respect your pace and your boundaries. So when you say like, I think this is going way too fast, let's just slow it down a little bit. I want to try to get to know you. I don't want to do any funny things. I don't want to kiss or hug or hold hands right now. He just listens and respects your boundaries, okay? This is a way. And another sign is that they don't use grand gestures to compensate their poor behavior. So like, I had this experience in a workplace, not in a relationship, but let me give you an example. So an example that I had, that could also be in the relationship, is he knows he clearly did something wrong, okay? He was an asshole, let's say. But he compensates this by giving you grand gestures like, I'm gonna pick you up tomorrow, I'm bringing you boba, I'm giving you food delivery to your house, and then just saying, I'm so sorry for being an asshole. But he constantly does this. Whenever he makes a big mistake, you're annoyed about it, he knows he's wrong, he overcompensates by always giving you things, or giving you basically grand gestures, okay? So like buying you drinks, foods, I don't know, maybe like 1,000 flowers or something. I would love that, but still not the point. If he always does this, then he's just love bombing you. Okay, so we've talked about some traits that are important, and let's talk about what you should actually look for, okay? 1, emotional intelligence. For him to have emotional intelligence, and for him to understand that if you don't like a certain thing, he respects you enough to make you feel safe, make you feel protected, that's great. Emotional intelligence as in, he understands your emotions, he understands your feelings and why you feel that way, and he won't just blow you off like that. Emotional intelligence as in, he doesn't like a certain thing and you like doing that, and he knows it will mean so much to you, and he does it even though he doesn't like it to make you happy. that type of emotional intelligence and the ability to handle conflict. So when you're in a fight, he's not just gonna ghost you, or like he's not gonna just like, right, okay, whatever, like I don't want to listen, like let me just put a pause on that, you know. More like, how are we gonna solve this? What is our solution? And actually do it, instead of thinking in the past like, oh, we always have this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. But kind of more to like, okay, so what's the solution now? What are we gonna do to move forward? That. And as well as your shared vision for the future, which leads me into the next point, which is your shared visions and your values. If your visions, your values with one another is already from the get-go very different, then girl, I'ma just say it to you, just leave right away. You're just wasting your time. I know that people can change, and I know you want to believe it as like, okay, change the bad boy, but it's not worth it, okay? If they really do want to change, they will, okay? They will, so don't try to get yourself hurt. All right, so what I mean by this is, one, maybe let's say their values are different. Your standards are you get flowers like at least in every event, big event, like Christmas, your birthday, your anniversary, Valentine's Day, and he doesn't have that shared vision. You obviously have to communicate this, but there are some guys who are not willing to do this. And if that really bothers you, if that's really a standard for you, then you know to just leave, because that's not part of your values with each other. Or like, if your value is, okay, I only date one person exclusively, and that person says like, I will date 3 or 4 girls at the same time, and you know that you're gonna get yourself hurt if you still keep dating him, because that's, your values are already different. So leave, right? You're just gonna get yourself hurt if you're not. As well as your vision in the future. Maybe let's say you want to get married in 2 years and he doesn't want to get married, or you know, like he just doesn't want to. Like, what are you doing? Leave. Like, you're setting yourself up to get hurt just because you want to spend time. Like, okay, fine, let's say he's amazing, he's a good guy and all that, but really? Like, really? Do you really want to believe that he'll change for you? I mean, that would be great, but what's the probability? Why don't you respect yourself enough to just leave? Because you already know that that's not gonna work out. Don't hope for it to work out in the future. You're just hurting yourself, right? Okay, let's get into the next point. Personal growth. Okay, this is very important actually. I've met several guys where I don't feel like I grow to become a better person. And there are also other times where I feel in a relationship, my career boosted because, not because of him, it was because of me too. But he motivated me to grow myself up to become a better person. And if this relationship doesn't have personal growth, like as in he actually makes you want to be a better person or upgrade yourself, then I mean, for some people, they could accept this. Some people don't. For me, it's good to have, but I haven't been in a situation where I've been with a guy long enough that I didn't have any personal growth and I was with them for a long time. And another one is obviously trust. If you don't even have trust in a relationship, how is a relationship going to work? It's not gonna work. It's as simple as that, okay? If you don't even trust that person to hang out with somebody else or group of friends or not cheat on you, if you don't trust them enough to do a certain thing, then boom. Relationships, they can't work without trust, okay? That's a very simple thing to say. And no trust, no relationship. As simple as that. And obviously, example was commitment, but commitment as well, as in values as well. Commitment as in, you gotta, communicate first what are your values, right? So like, if you only want to date one person exclusively and that person cannot be committed to you, then you kind of just leave. That's it. Nothing else to say about this, but commitment, like not cheating on somebody, being actually with one person, commitment that you're gonna be better together, you're gonna strive together, you want to be a better person together, things like that. The very last one is, can someone be all green flags? You're just like a walking green flag, all right? But also not be the right person for you. Unfortunately, this can't happen because you won't if you don't have connection with this person, if they're a total green flag and you still can't see them that way, girl, your feelings are your feelings. At the end of the day, your feelings, your heart, that connection you have with someone, that chemistry you have with someone will always matter the most. So let me give you an example. A total walking green flag, but you don't have chemistry connection with them. B, somebody with, okay, let's not say half green flags, but 8 green flags, 2 to 3 red flags, but you have amazing chemistry. Obviously, you would pick B, because obviously nobody's perfect. But I'm not asking you to go for someone with all red flags as well, but you have amazing chemistry. No, but you gotta weigh it out, girl. Okay, weigh it out. So yes, it is possible, unfortunately, to have this situation. All right, so the very last part of this video is how to actually apply this to your own life. And instead of just talking about green flags, let me give you some questions that you can ask yourself when you're trying to get into a relationship, or even for yourself. Number 1 is, do I emotionally feel safe when I'm around this person? Can I communicate my needs properly to them without me being scared for them to shut me out, even when things go wrong? Okay. Second one, are we growing in the same direction or towards the same values or goals? Number 3, can we solve problems together or do we just avoid our problems? Number 4, do our core values and life goals align? And I feel like number 4 is the most important one. But here are some 4 important questions that you can ask yourself when you're getting to a relationship and not just listing down green flags. And also ask yourself, do I have a connection or do I have chemistry with this guy? How much do I actually like this guy? So that is also the last and added one, number 5. And that's it for today's episode. I hope you guys loved it, and let me know if you liked it, which part you like and which part you didn't, or what other videos you want me to produce. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!